Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome to my presentation, Designing Infant Learning Environment for Motor Development. My name is Sarah Williams, and today I will be sharing my American College of Education original contribution capstone project. During this presentation, we will begin by discussing infants' development and why classroom environment matters. Next, I'll explore some of the common challenges infant educators face and share my action research project, including the findings. From there, I'll discuss evidence based practices and recommendations for educators that are supported by current research. Finally, I'll conclude by reflecting on what I've learned throughout this project and leave you with a few final thoughts. The first year is one of the most important periods for brain growth and motor development. During this stage, infants learn through movement, exploration, and responsive interaction with their caregivers. As infants grow, they are learning to lift their heads, roll over, sit, and eventually begin walking. Every movement they make helps strengthen their muscles while also supporting cognitive, sensory, and social emotional development. As educators, it's important to recognize that movement is much more than a physical activity. It's one of the primary ways infants learn about themselves and their environment. Schneider explained that development is closely connected to the physical environment. In other words, the spaces we create as educators can either encourage or limit opportunities for movement and exploration. Finally, Duduk Sherber and Zelazny used the Alberta Infant Motor Scale, or AIMS, to examine infant development. Their findings support the importance of providing infants with opportunities for tummy time and movement to promote healthy motor milestone development. Understanding how infants develop help educators create environments that are intentionally promoting healthy growth and learning. When we think about infant development, we often focus on activities and interactions. However, the physical environment also plays an important role. The two classroom layouts on this slide demonstrates how the amount of available floor space can influence opportunities for movement and exploration. The classroom on the left has more furniture and equipment, leaving less space for infants to move freely, while the classroom on the right provides more open space for infants to practice tummy time, crawling, reaching, and exploring their surroundings. Maxwell explained behavioral constraints occur when aspects of their environment limits the way the space is used. When classrooms become crowded with cribs, shelving, and other equipment, infants may have fewer opportunities to practice important motor skills. Schneider stated different spatial layouts differently affect how children engage with them. In other words, the way a classroom is arranged directly influences how infants interact with their environment. As educators, we may not always be able to increase the size of our classroom, but we can intentionally organize space to create more opportunities for movement, exploration, and development. As you see in the picture, infant classroom often has large pieces of furniture such as cribs, high chairs, changing station, and storage units that takes up a significant amount of floor space. While these items are necessary for meeting infants' daily needs, they can leave little room for tummy time, movement, and exploration. When floor space is limited, infants have fewer opportunities to practice important gross motor skills such as rolling, crawling, reaching, and transitioning between positions. Over time, these can reduce opportunities for movement, exploration, and overall motor development. These are the challenges that many infant educators experience and were the same challenges I observed in my own classroom. Seeing these limitations firsthand inspired me to conduct my action research to determine whether a simple environmental change could increase tummy time participation and create more opportunities for infant movement. The challenges I observed in my classroom led me to ask an important question. Can a simple environmental change improve tummy time participation? This question became the focus of my action research study. I wanted to determine whether creating a dedicated tummy time space would increase infants' participation and provide more opportunities for motor development. To investigate this question, I observed infants in my classroom before and after implementing a designated tummy time area. Throughout the study, I documented each infant's participation, engagement, and opportunities for movement. My goal was to determine whether a simple change to the classroom environment can positively influence infants' motor development. These findings from this project help me better understand how intentional classroom designs can support infants' learning and development, which will be discussed in the next slide. After creating a dedicated tummy time area, I observed several positive changes in the infant's participation and engagement. Before the intervention, many of the infants resisted tummy time by crying, becoming upset, or refusing to remain on their stomachs for very long. The limited classroom space also reduced opportunities for movement and exploration throughout the day. After introducing the tummy time mat and designating a specific area and time for tummy time, I noticed that infants participated more consistently and remained engaged for longer periods. They appeared more comfortable, had fewer distractions, and were more willing to explore their surroundings. Overall, this simple environmental change created more opportunities for movement, exploration, and motor development. These findings reinforce the importance of intentionally designing classroom environments to support infants' developmental needs. The findings from my action research are supported by current research on infant motor development and classroom environment. Hewitt explained that tummy time provides an opportunity for infants to stimulate and enhance their motor development. Infants can be placed on their tummy from birth for a short period of supervised play. This highlights the importance of providing infants with daily opportunities for supervised tummy time. Research also emphasized that the classroom environment plays a significant role in children's learning. Maxwell described the physical environment as a third teacher, reminding us that classroom designs can either encourage or limit infants' opportunities to explore and develop new skills. In addition, Dudok, Sherber, and Zelazny explained that the environment, which includes factors such as the position in which the infant is placed, the toys available, and the quality of care, also can impact the infant's actions. This reinforces that intentional classroom design is just as important as the learning experience we plan. Together, these studies support simple, evidence based practice such as providing daily tummy time, creating open space for movement, actively engaging in infants during floor play, and adapting the environment to meet each child's developmental needs. Based on both my research and my classroom experience, I have a few recommendations for educators. First, evaluate your classroom layout regularly. If something is working, continue to use it. If it isn't supporting children's movement and development, don't be afraid to make changes. Second, observe your infants and document their progress. Ask yourself, are they becoming more engaged? Are they meeting developmental milestones? Your observation will help you determine whether your environment is supporting their needs. Third, create a consistent schedule for tummy time and other gross motor activities. Establishing a routine helps ensure infants receive daily opportunities for supervised movement while maintaining a safe environment. Kurana and Imar Dar found that the greatest impact was observed when behavioral strategies were purposely aligned with specific outcomes. This reminds us that our classroom decisions should always be intentional and connect to developmental goals we have for our children. Finally, advocate, advocate, advocate. As educators, we know our children best. If you notice that your classroom environment is limiting opportunities for movement and exploration, use your observations and your research to advocate for changes. Even small adjustment can make a meaningful difference. As Maxwell said, access to large gross motor spaces gives children the opportunity to engage in activity that contributes to the development of gross motor skills. Although we may not always have larger classes, we can intentionally organize the place we have to support infants' learning and development. As I step into this new chapter of my career, I will continue to use research, observation, and evidence based practice to guide my decision and advocate for young children. Completing this project has reinforced the importance of intentional classroom design and reminds me that even small changes can make a meaningful difference in children's life. It also strengthened my confidence in using observation and action research to identify challenges, develop solutions, and improve learning environments. Most importantly, this journey has shown me the value of being an advocate. Whether I'm working in a classroom or supporting children and their family in a new role, I will continue to create environments that promote learning, development, and success for every child. As educators, we have the opportunity to shape children's learning experience every day, and that begins with the environment we create. Intentional classroom design is way more than arranging furniture. It's about creating spaces that encourage movement, exploration, curiosity, and healthy development. My hope is that this presentation encourages you to reflect on your own classroom and recognize that even small, thoughtful changes can make a meaningful difference in infants' opportunity to learn and grow. Thank you for taking the time to watch my presentation. I hope you found it informative and that it inspires you to create intentional learning environments that supports infants' development. Have a wonderful day.